Now that we have the truck taken apart, it's time for the fun part of building it back up. So in this video, hopefully, fingers crossed, plan on getting the frame fully painted and done. So lots to do still, but there's still some things that need to be stripped off of this first. So I'm gonna go through and take off anything that's bolted on, pressure wash it, and then take it apart completely. So as you can see, the exhaust is still on it, brake lines. It's actually pretty much it. Drive line. Yeah, so I want to know what, oh, the axle breather. Yeah, so I guess pretty much all I need to do is take off the exhaust, drive line, brake lines, and then I will take it over, completely power wash everything, and then take off the axles, rear axle, the swing arms, all that, and start cleaning down the whole frame. Thought about getting it powder coated. I went and talked to some guys. It's gonna run me about 800 bucks to powder coat it, which isn't a ton of money, but I feel like I can spend that money elsewhere when I can just paint it myself for a couple $100. So I'll probably go that route. We don't live in a place where there's super harsh environments. We don't get that much rain, and we don't have to worry about salt on the roads and everything. So I'm not that worried about the frame. So I think I'm just gonna paint it myself. It'll take a little more work. Of course, it's easy to just get a sandblast and everything, but I think I'll just strip it down. I'll just wire wheel it down and then go from there, paint it myself. So I guess start by just taking everything off. Well guys, I actually ran out of batteries on that last clip, but I decided to just keep going. So I stripped a lot of the things out, and I even took it outside and pressure washed it. Sorry if you were really looking forward to seeing it get pressure washed, but I just did it myself real fast. So here we are. Everything's looking good, but now I want to strip it down even more, get rid of the axles, so it is just the main frame, and then we can start fixing things like here. It must have been in a little front end crash because that's kind of bent. Push that back in, weld that. I need to clean up these holes here. It looks like they just torched through it and didn't clean it up. Pretty sloppy job. I think I'll still use those instead of buying a new piece, but I'll just clean that up so it looks better and probably maybe throw some patches in there. And then the rear, I don't know if they had a hitch or what, but I'll be cutting this off, getting rid of that. Need to pull this out because I'm going to be putting the tank in there. And then other than that, get all that done, I should be able to start stripping the paint off the frame and getting ready to paint. Well, we got the axles off of the frame. Everything went pretty good. These bolts here on each side were probably the biggest pain just because they were kind of hard to get to and they were tight. So, but other than that, everything came off really easy. Everything's looking good. Back end came off easy and it's looking good. I'm interested to see, because I have that other lowering kit and it's supposed to lower it, I think 5 inches in the rear. And I think this already has a lowering kit on it. It seems lower than most stock trucks, and so I'm curious to know how much longer these springs are compared to my other ones and see if it's going to make a big difference or not. Hopefully it does, because the back end definitely needed more low to me. So, but I don't know, we'll see. What is sweet about these though, if you were just wanting to lower your truck, really all you'd have to do is unbolt that support brace, whatever that you call that, stabilizer bar, undo these bolts underneath the springs that attach to the swing arms, lift up or lower the axle, either lift up the truck or lower the axle, take these off, throw new ones on, re-lower it, and you could be good. Depending on how crazy you get, you'll probably have to do some wedges to change the angle of the drive line to keep from vibrating, but other than that, it would be fairly easy to lower. The front would probably be a little bit more of a pain. You probably have to take off either the bottom A-arm or the top, probably the bottom. Take that out, throw the other spring in, then lower it. So, but overall, it seems like this truck would be pretty easy to lower without having to take it apart too much, so that's pretty cool. So I guess now we get to doing frame repairs. I'll probably get on that tomorrow because it's getting late, so I will see you guys then. Well, here we are back on the frame. I actually did some cleaning up the other night off camera. I know it's hard to see with this lighting. Kind of see the contrast there where it's been clean. But yeah, I just used the wire wheel on the grinder down there and it actually went really good and cleaned up really fast, surprisingly. Thought it was going to take a lot longer. And so I think my game plan is I'm going to use the wire wheel on all the surfaces that I'm able to get to, which I should be able to get to most things. I actually just bought a little Harbor Freight sandblaster that I'm going to use for all the like nooks and crannies in there and around all these brackets and cross members. So I'll use the sandblaster to get all that, but then I'm going to use the wire wheel to clean up all of the smooth open areas. But yeah, so I'm just going to start going to town on this frame and see how much I can get done today. Well guys, not quite done, but I think I'm going to call it a day because I am very tired. Been cleaning up this frame for pretty much 6 hours straight now, and we're almost done. Did a bunch of stuff. Camera actually died, but I just kept going because I don't know, there's nothing really cool to watch about this. But everything we did, all the sides and the top are done, as well as the inside of inside of the rail. Just have like the top side along there, and then this bottom side across the whole thing. And then here, I don't know if you guys remember, but this was bent and cracked. Must have been an accident, so I hammered it in and re-welded it. Just need to grind those. Remove the transmission cross member. Ooh, what else did we do? Remove the bracket. You can see it down there. Remove the bracket that was hanging inside for here for the drive shaft. We'll probably just have a single drive shaft going through there, so don't need that. And then remove this little brace that was going across here, because this is the back and it will be the fuel tank. And then, as well as remove this weird thing that they had on the very back, cut it off, which is welded here and then on both sides of the frame here, so cut that off. I was really hoping to get all the frame completely wired down, and then next week I could start with sandblasting, and then we could get on to paint. But I'll just have to finish this another day. It won't take that long. I'm just super tired because I've literally been doing this for like 6 hours. But almost done, so I'll probably finish it off camera. So next time that you see this, it'll probably be outside getting ready to be sandblasted. So I guess I will catch you guys then. All right, guys, finally made it outside with the frame, and we are ready to start sandblasting. Picked up this little Harbor Freight sandblaster, and you know how you are with Harbor Freight stuff, but I actually did a little test, and it looks like it is going to do the job just fine. I know it's bright out here, it's hard to see, but yeah, it's time to take the sandblaster and get in all the nooks and crannies. I don't even know if you can see. Yeah, it's so bright out here, it's hard to even see, but yeah, pretty much anywhere that I couldn't get with the wire wheel, I will be doing with the sandblaster. So inside all these areas, and pretty much all inside the frame, all that I couldn't get inside with the wire wheel, so I will use the sandblaster for that. I got everything taken off the frame that I think needs to come off, so that we can have a complete clean frame when we're done. So yeah, I guess let's just get to it and see how she goes. Well guys, everything's going pretty smooth. It's actually working really well. I ran out of sand, and instead of kind of collecting what's on the ground here, I figured I'll just go buy another bag, and then I'll collect everything afterwards and for the next time to reuse. But no, it actually works really well. Works like a sandblaster. I'm sure more expensive sandblasters might work better than this, but I think it just does the job for what I'm using it for, and you could do an entire frame like this pretty easily. I now know why it's so expensive to have things sandblasted, because you go through a lot of sand. Went through a 100-pound bag just doing the nooks and crannies, so I could see if you were doing an entire frame, it would add up pretty quick. But yeah, it's just the cost of painting. So finish this up, I'll bring the front cross member over and do that, and then we can bring it in and get it ready to paint. Well, after 200 pounds of sand, I'm finally done. Didn't get everything. So on the subframe, I just made sure to try and get the nooks and crannies here that are hard, can't get with the wire wheel. And then I knew I was gonna be running low on sand, so I just kind of got the hard to get places with the sandblaster. That way I can touch it all up with the wire wheel. Frame, got pretty much everything. Like I said, I knew I was running low on sand, so I kind of moved quickly, and so there might have been a few spots that I missed. So I will take it back into the shop and get those spots with the wire wheel or something, scuff them up at least. Because the nice thing about the encapsulator that I'm going to be using is frame doesn't have to be perfect. And so I can just put that layer on it, and then I'll be putting the top coat on it, the frame paint on top of that, and it should be sealed really well. But no, overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I got all the places that I really wanted to, and I'm sure a better sandblaster works better than that, but hey, for just a hobbyist that is only going to be using it here and there, yeah, I don't think it's a bad purchase. You go through a lot of sand, but probably the worst part of it was this mask, just from the sand bouncing off the frame and then hitting you in the face here. I couldn't see out of this at all by the end, and so that was kind of difficult as well, because I was just trying to guess where it was. So I probably will be investing in a nice shield that either, I don't know if they have tempered glass or something stronger than this plastic, because it is so foggy in there that you can't even see through there. I don't know, maybe I can. But yeah, see how that's what I was trying to sandblast through towards the end, and I didn't want to just put some glasses on because so much sand hits you in the face, and so you kind of need a full mask like this, but that one is trash. And so I'll probably be investing in a nice one. That way next time I do sandblast, that won't be a factor, and I can do a better job. So I guess let's move her back into the shop, and I can start fine-tuning everything for paint prep, and we can move on to the fun part. Well, she's back in the shop, mostly cleaned up. Tiny bit of work that needs to be done. Need to cut these off, wire wheel under there, I'm gonna smooth out these holes for the exhaust there. Someone cut those out and I was like, oh, I'll just buy a new one to replace it. But after looking at a new one, it already has those exact holes and cutouts and everything. So I'll just clean those up, reuse that. That doesn't bother me. And then a few other things that I need to prep on the frame. But then other than that, we should be ready to paint. So that will be happening next week. So stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys then. Peace.